Hi everybody, it's Dimitri and I want to talk to you today, my lovely backyard. I want to talk to you today about helping people. Sometimes someone will come to one of your workshops or step out on your carpet or want to do some work with you around improving their self-esteem. They'll say, I want to improve my self-esteem. I want to feel better about myself. And there are two ways to deal with this, and I want to go over both of them with you now because I think it's actually some fairly interesting stuff in this. So, what has somebody changed their view of themselves in terms of any thing that might be happening for them, any belief system about themselves? What has them change and say, well, formerly I thought I was limited to this, but now I see I can do this. Or formerly I thought I was worthless, now I think I'm valuable. Or formerly I thought I couldn't do this thing, now I think I can. What makes them have that change? Well, there are two things. There are two things that make people have that change, which is in the title of this, experience and authority. If you have experience doing something successfully, you will start to believe that you are someone who can do it. Also, if you turn to somebody who is an authority for you and they tell you you can do it, you can do it. Like, for instance, I used to do dating coaching back in the day, helping men who were shy talk to women, have relationships, sometimes get married, even have kids. I mean, that whole 9 yards. And we would run workshops where we'd actually take men out into the world and help them have good interactions with women. And what was amazing to me was these were guys who didn't have any experience succeeding with this. But when I would tell them, hey, you can do it, they'd say, oh, if the guy who wrote the book says I can do it, then I can. And then they would be able to go and do it, and they would have these great successes. Because they believed in authority, they were able to shift their view on themselves, at least long enough to start to get some experience doing the thing, and then once they have experience with it, they know they can do it. So, yeah, I feel like I see this a lot in like the processes that I run with people too. That a lot of times, if people have heard of me or they know about me, they know I've been doing this for a long time, they say, well, okay, well, if Dimitri's suggesting it, it must be true. And that can in some ways be a double-edged sword because you really don't want people lying to you during the processes. But there's a way in which when I believe in them, they believe in them because I'm an authority. And if the authority believes in them, it must be true. So, and you see this all over the place with people wonder, how come Tony Robbins can do a thing with people and then I do the same thing and it doesn't work, right? Well, because people believe Tony Robbins, they believe he's right about them more than they believe themselves are right about them. There's also, this is a lot of religion, when I work with Christian guys and they want to work on with this idea of I want to have more self-esteem. All there is to do there is to really align them for them to see how something higher feels about them. And they'll align with that and say, well, I may not love myself, but something higher does, and that overrules how I feel about myself. So here's how this shows up in doing like carpet work, stuff like that. You've got experience and authority. So experience, it would be if the person were to say, I've got all these self-esteem issues, you'd say, okay, well, what's a message that tells you you're not good enough? You'd have someone play that message, and then you would give them the experience of setting a boundary with that voice, of shouting it out of the room or whatever, so they're like, yes, I can do this. I have the experience of being able to say no to my negative internal voices and turn to feeling good about myself. I have the experience of it. I know it's true. That's one way you go. The other way that you go is with authority. Now, authority is all of your blessing processes, where you get them into the small part of themselves. Like, how old might you have been when you first felt this way? Like you weren't good enough and had to feel bad about yourself. Oh, I was 5. Who did the 5-year-old really need? Oh, I needed my dad. Was your dad able to come to you? No, he hated me. All right, is there a part of your dad? Let's look for your dad's deepest heart. Let's have someone play the love for your dad has for you that he could never even express. Okay, how does that love feel about you? Oh, I really love you. I want you to be okay. I think you're great, right? Get a blessing that way. Or you might have them step in and bless themselves in some way. Or you might have them go to their higher power. Okay, you feel like you're not good enough all the time? How does your higher power feel about you? And then get them into a position of standing in that energy and bringing love to themselves, right? This is pretty standard stuff for a lot of the work that we do. What I want to bring to your attention is that's authority. When you get someone to change their view on themselves because they're given love by something they think is higher than themselves, that's the authority, and that will also shift how they feel about themselves. So, 2 ways that you can change somebody's point of view on themselves if they're saying, I want to work on self-esteem issues. All right, one, have them experience being a person who can say no and set a boundary with a negative voice, so they can stand it. I have the experience of being someone who can stand up for myself. Or authority. Get them into an energy that's bigger than them, that loves them no matter how broken they are and no matter how helpless they feel. And when they get that, that will actually break up that stuckness as well. And will put them in a place saying, yeah, I do feel like I'm good enough because something bigger than me that I trust says it. So it must be true, so it is true inside of me. So, just wanted to get that over to you today, and let's see, this is Thursday. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Leave me your comments if you want to. Share this, and talk to y'all later. Bye.